Hey guys, this is the GTAWiseGuy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you some 1v1 dogfighting tips. So I'll be showing you the best techniques to use, and also it involves a lot of tactics as well, so I'll be showing you the main tactics that a lot of pilots use, and I'll also be talking you through the rules that a lot of the jet crews use as well. So I highly recommend that you practice this with a friend, guys, because practicing technique and tactics on your own isn't really going to work. So I'll leave a link to the Originals crew in the description. They're a great piloting crew. I'm in the Elite Division in the Originals, and you can just hit them up on social club, see if there's anyone who wants to fly with you and practice. So anyway, guys, to get into 1v1 death matches, you're probably best going on the Sonora airstrip, so you can get that under the Rockstar created in the jobs menu. So I'll be comparing the tactics from two different pilots, Original Zookler and Original Vorny. So first we're going up against Zookler, and I'll just explain the rules quickly, guys, for dogfighting. So you don't want to shoot each other when you're just approaching one another, because that's basically just newbie, and the rule is you've got to, as you're passing each other, then you go into the circle instead of shooting each other directly. So now I'll just show you guys the most simple circling technique. So I'm circling to the left, so I'll be using LB and L1, but if you're circling to the right, you'll be using RB and R1. So when you're in the circle, guys, what you want to do is pull back on left stick, and you want to hold LB to get a tighter turn. And to use your thrusters and brakes properly, what you need to do is you just need to tap your right trigger and left trigger quite easily. So say about every half second you're tapping it. You don't want to tap it too fast, so when you let go of right trigger, you want to be tapping left trigger. So basically just switching between each trigger to try and get a tight turn. So as you see there, I managed to get an upper hand on Zookler quite quickly. So that's basically the most basic turn, so keeping it level and turning, trying to get a tight turn. So the first thing I noticed about Zookler's tactic was he would go up on a merge instead of just going straight to the side and circling that way. So when you go up, you can get a better sight on your enemy, and you're also able to do another technique that allows you to get a much tighter circle, which I'll go into more in a minute. But as you can see, Zookler's able to get away from me quite quickly. Even though we are tailing each other, I'm right on his tail, he's managing to pull away from me, and I'm being forced to follow him and stray away from my sort of straight flying tactic where I just circle on a level playing field, and I'm having to go up and down. I'm sort of losing control, and I'm not too sure where to go. Now, another strong point for Zookler that I noticed is he prefers head-to-head dogfights instead of tailing each other for ages. So what happens is when he goes up, he comes back on himself, so that when he's circling and he's getting tighter turns, he's able to face the enemy instead of following them. So now I'll just talk you guys through the best technique for circling in terms of going up and down in sort of a Pringle shape, as I like to call it. So if you think of a Pringle crisp or a potato chip, if you have them in America, I'm not sure. It's like the outer rim of the Pringle is basically the shape that you'll be taking to do the circle. So you'll be going up and down to try and get a tighter circle, and you'll gain more speed and you'll have more chance to confuse the enemy and take them by surprise. So I'll just talk you guys through the Pringle flight path technique. So starting from the bottom, you'll be using your brakes a lot more than your thrusters, in about a 2-to-1 ratio with your brakes. So you'll be using the brakes a lot more than your thrusters. And then when you're about to head up, you'll be using your thrusters, just your thrusters, but don't hold it down, just tap it as fast as you can. And then when you're at the top and you're about to roll over to go back down to the bottom, you'll just be using it like you normally would when you're in a circle. So like a 1-to-1 ratio, just even it out about half a second using each trigger. And then you want to be braking a little bit more when you're right at the top, so that you can turn your plane to go back down. And then once you're heading down, you'll be just using it as normal again, 1-to-1 ratio. And then when you're back to the bottom, it'll be the same thing over again. So 2-to-1 ratio with your brakes, and basically just doing that pattern. You'll be doing that twice in one circle. So I'll just let the clip of this dogfight play out, and I'll let you see in real time what you should be doing in the Pringle loop technique. So as you can see, I'm using my brakes more at the bottom. Start to use my thruster more to go up. I'm at the top, so I brake a little more to come back down. Use it as normal to come back down again. Less brakes at the bottom, and as you can see, I'm switching direction here, so the loop would just change direction. You can carry on going, and because I can see I've got a shot lined up, I just continue ascending and take the shot. One last tip for you guys: if you look at what Original Vorny does here, he manages to go up, and he slows his speed down so much by pulling out his landing gear that he manages to get a clean shot on me before we even start circling properly. So remember to be wary of surprise attacks, guys. Like, I was just flying up there, and Vorny was able to get a shot on me. Like, they was almost able to do it again, because I was just flying in the same sort of path that I was before. Now, everybody has their own weakness, guys. Like Zookler, his weakness was the other pilot switching direction. So if I was switching direction a lot, it'd take him a long time to try and get behind me or try and shoot me. But Vorny's weakness was flying low. He'd get a bit disorientated when I was flying low. And my weakness is predictability. I'm too predictable. I just like to, if I get stuck into a routine of flying, I stick with it until I get killed or whatever. So remember guys, technique isn't everything in dogfighting. Tactics are a big part of trying to get an upper hand on your enemy. You really need to understand your enemy, what they're good at and what their weaknesses are. So if you're quick to understand your enemy, you're probably going to win the dogfight. And yeah guys, just remember the techniques that I taught you and the different tactics that you can use, like flying up instead of just flying straight to the left or right. Fly up and switch directions so you're not always going on tail in dogfights. Practice head-to-head dogfights as well. So yeah guys, that's pretty much all for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.